Welcome back. The last few weeks here on 27, we have been looking at Dubois County's new 211 system. Here is part 3 of our feature. We start today with Huntingburg Mayor Gail Kemp on financing 211 as well as marketing this new service.
It is not supported through the tax dollars completely. What we really have here is a situation where it is a benefit to the community, and the community is really stepping forward to finance the project. I can tell you we're working very well with that because I believe it is not completely nailed down yet, but the county, through its edit funds, is planning on making a generous contribution towards the $20,000 needed to fund this for 1 year, and they're looking at a 2-year commitment. So we really want to kick this off so we have 2-year commitment in hand, so we're not constantly battling a funding problem. So the county is certainly going to step forward. A week or two ago, the city of Huntingburg, through its utility divisions, pledged $1,000 for each year in order to finance this project. We're very, very used to in our utility departments, the girls who collect those every week are asked, hey, I cannot pay all of my utility bills. I need assistance, and where do I go? We really aren't the clearinghouse for that, and it's difficult to channel people to the right place, although we try. And for us, from a very selfish perspective, this is a very good way for us to say, if you'll just dial 211, they'll be glad to give you the names and addresses and phone numbers of the folks who can help you. And so we look forward to the project, and that's just one example. If you think of all the other possibilities, that where does a person call for help? I just saw Donna, if I can use you for a moment. We had a very interesting call a month or two ago from a lady who had went to an auction, purchased one of these boxes that you get everything for 50 cents, but you don't know what you bought. Well, she took it home. She wished she hadn't paid the 50 cents. She had something in there called lead of sugar or sugar lead, which very luckily she knew to be, which we don't know what it is, but she knew that to be a very poisonous subject and had to be disposed of. But how do you dispose of that? So she's trying to handle this properly by calling us, and we're standing around. We don't know. We called Donna, and they were less than sure, and we even finally got all the way to the state, to the Indiana Department of Environmental Management. That would have been a great resource for this lady to find out, who do I call and what do I do? I don't want to put this in the backyard and poison the soil or kill dogs or whatever in the heck it would have done. Very responsible thing she was trying to do, but where do I go for help? So this is a project that we believe has some real benefit to this county. So as part of a subcommittee of which John Berger is the chairman, John Berger is the chairman of this subcommittee. I'm on that with John, and the other folks who are on this are Alan Hoffman, Ray Snowden, Glenn Hope, and Steve Wall. So we're looking at this to fund this project, and we are well on the way. I know that Memorial Hospital is contemplating a pledge to this also. So we're asking you folks to help also. And Ann and whomever, we have this sheet, which you will now get a copy of, and we'll lay extras in the back of the room. And basically, it's an opportunity for you to, through your firm or privately, however it might be, make a contribution towards the 211 program. I think I would really like for you to consider a 2-year pledge, so we're funded for 2 years. And the reason for that is very obvious. We want this thing off and running, and people can begin to learn how it works. It'll also give generations the opportunity to expand this to other counties, and by working together as a regional group, we're not going to have higher and higher cost to facilitate this. So I think that's the pitch for the money. And with that, thank you, and Jane.
I would like to introduce Beth Stein, who is the chairperson of the Data and Resource Directory subcommittee that's been working, and they've been putting a lot of effort into looking at all the resources we have available in the county.
I don't like to stand behind those because I disappear. The other people, can you hear me? Am I on? Okay. The other people that are on my committee are in the back, most of them are in the back of the room, is Becky Dunlap, Melissa Wagler, Rachel Lowe, Kara Messmore, and of course Jill Steele from Generations. So they have been very much of a help to get us to the point where we are now. Our job is to collect all the information of all the services in Dubois County, and boy, is that a job. Because as we all know, of those of us who use referrals, that changes constantly. You know, you no sooner think, oh man, I've got it all down pat, and somebody changes the number or changes an address or moves across town, and you go, ugh. So you start over again. So we have been going through directories of past directories that we have had of the county and looking up things. So some of you, we have got some of your stuff, but I can please encourage you, please get one of these forms. If you haven't got them, we've got them in the back of the room. And for every service you offer, okay, fill one of these out. Okay, if you do more than one service in your agency or program, you know, whatever, okay, if nothing else, at least the back 2 pages. You know, you may not have to do the front page every time, but at least the back 2 pages. So we know all the details about your particular service with, you know, with all your different programs within your agency or your company or whatever. So please, those are in the back. Back there also are envelopes for you to mail these in. They go to Jill at Generations. Another option we have for you, because if you're like me, you become so dependent on the computer, that we have some sheets in the back there. If you want to put your name and who you're representing and your email address, we will email you these forms so you can fill them out on your computer, because especially if you have to do more than one, it makes it be a lot easier. And then you can email them back to Jill. So if we get your email address, then you'll have an email from probably Jill or I for you to email them back to you. So if that's easier for you, please feel free to do that. Is there anything else, Jill, I need to say? I'm looking at Jill because she's been our right hand in this of putting this together and knowing what we need to do next. And right now, like I say, we've been gleaning through information and getting phone numbers, but we're very dependent on you've got to fill those forms out so we've got your information. So,
Like that.
Yes.
It's very helpful, especially since the 211 staff are in Vincennes, that if you're with a social service organization and you're filling out one of those forms, put as much detail. If your doorway is hard to find, right in the margin, it's under the blue awning, or it's the back door of the church, or whatever it would help to make a caller comfortable walking and finding the service. We need as much detail as possible, and especially when you think about after hours, our Indianapolis folks are the ones who answer that call at 2 o'clock in the morning. So if they're trying to find how to get to the crisis unit at the hospital or how to go to a support group, if you have an AA meeting, we need to know that detail so that we can make the best referrals possible. We want the callers to feel comfortable going to the programs.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Rita Howell is now going to present some information from the marketing committee. She's with Memorial Hospital and Healthcare Center. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So how do we tell everyone about this? That's the big key. We rolled it out to you folks today. We have plans to, of course, continue on talking about this with the media. But we have to tell 40-some thousand people in Dubois County about this 211 service. So in early July, our marketing committee, which includes Tanya Brothers Bridge, Matt Haskins, Paul Cleese, Marty Vaught, and myself, we came up with just a little bit of a plan. And of course, it's threefold. First objective is, of course, to create awareness with our stakeholders, and that's what this meeting is all about today. And so we assisted the database committee with this function. Our second objective, of course, is to create awareness with the media, and we have been in contact with them. They've been very helpful in getting the word out to this point. We, as a good friend of mine has said, this story has legs. So we anticipate seeing some more articles in the newspaper about that. And, of course, Reed Parker is here from WITC. Jesse's here from TV27. So we anticipate, of course, more media coverage. And then, of course, we need to create awareness with the public. And several things that we have planned for that include, of course, the newspaper articles and that direct connection through the media, radio and TV programs, utility bill inserts, brochures, bank statement inserts, PSAs. When you came in, did you notice that there was maybe some talk about 211 overhead? Or were you just so focused on getting into this meeting that you totally, I think, missed it? Anyway, that was a PSA, public service announcement, that we would like to get on the radio stations come January when we roll this out to the public. Listserv email announcements. You know, we have all of these email addresses in our computers, and we want people to utilize those and to continue helping us get the word out about 211. And then, of course, payroll stuffers, speakers bureau, lots of different ways to do this. And, of course, we want to do it for free. We don't have a marketing budget, so we want to do this as inexpensively as possible. But we need your help. And that means that when you have an opportunity to talk about 211 to your peers, that you can help us do that. Okay? And of course, your ideas on how we can continue getting the word out to the community would be most appreciated. You can talk to any one of us on the marketing committee, and we'll be happy to tap into your ideas. Thank you very much.
What I'd like to do now is basically do two reminders. I think the biggest issues that we're going to face in this community, number one is keeping track of really all our providers. We have a lot of providers. If you know of someone that is possibly not going to list, get them to list. Get them a hold of Beth. Get some kind of contact so that we get them listed, even if they have a limited service. Even if their service, particularly we have a lot of churches doing many good things in the community. If it's only for their church members, that's fine. We just need them to list this along with the information, and we will have all our resource providers in the directory. We also, I want to encourage donations. This is a good thing. It's a public-private partnership. It's not to be handled only by government.
This has been 27 Minutes here on WJTS 27. For the entire crew, I'm Kurt Guxell. Have a great night.